In this video, I'll give you the best running back to target in the third round of 2024 fantasy football drafts. I'm Jim Coventry of Rotowire. All right, let's start with the big dog, as I call him. Love this guy, Derrick Henry of the now Baltimore Ravens. Now, remember, Henry back in 2019 and 2020, he rushed for 5.3 yards per carry. And the last 3 seasons, he's about a full yard lower than that. It's a combination of things. It's age, it's the offensive line that he had in Tennessee, which is not very good, the overall offense, a lot of factors. That said, Henry was still a beast last year, even though the numbers weren't great. 86 percentile broken tackle rate, 77th percentile yards after contact. And one of the problems, even with those great numbers that Henry had, was Henry often needs to get a little head of steam going to be at his absolute best. Well, often in Tennessee, he was getting hit in the backfield, and that head of steam wasn't starting up. So we didn't see optimal Henry. Now, look, Henry's 30, and there's definitely concern with running backs in 30. We see it all the time. At this point, we have not seen a decline in Henry's game. Can it happen? Yes. I'm not buying it. I do believe that Derrick Henry, now with the RPO threat of Lamar Jackson, I know that 60% of the Ravens line was lost in the offseason. They did keep center Tyler Linderbaum and left tackle Ronnie Stanley injured a lot. But that said, I do believe the infrastructure for this team is going to suggest that Henry will get some room to run. Jackson's threat is going to be problematic because if defenses over pursue for Henry, Jackson could pull the ball and make them pay heavily for it. So I do think this is a very healthy situation for Derrick Henry. And again, I am not willing to bet against him on age. If you bet against him, that's absolutely fine. But durability, it's been crazy with Henry. Now, in 2021, he broke his foot. He missed 8 games. Otherwise, Henry has only played fewer than 15 games in that 2021 season. He is like an Iron Man. Insane. And the only year he didn't hit 12 touchdowns in the recent past was that year he broke his foot, and he scored 10 touchdowns in that season. But he has at least 10 in 6 straight years. So that is amazing. And look, Lamar Jackson, can he run at the goal line? Yes. But why would you? If you have Derrick Henry, why would you expose your quarterback to hits when you have the big dog getting after it? Love Derrick Henry. So yeah, that's, you got to understand. So overall, there's a great situation for Henry. The defense may not be as good as it was last year because Mike McDaniel's gone. They lost a couple key components. So they might give up a few more points. But the Ravens historically figure out a way with all the veterans they have and a solid infrastructure of coaching that they're going to coach it up. And their defense should be okay enough. So I think game script wise, Henry's not going to find himself as he was in Tennessee, trailing most weeks, losing half the snaps to Tyjae Spears, which was in Tennessee. Now, obviously, Tyjae Spears stays there while Henry's on Baltimore. But all that said, I think Henry's in a healthy situation. Kyren Williams is next. So, and there's only 2 players in this battle because at this range, there's really only 2 I'm looking at. Kyren Williams, ADP started out early. Those drafted really early in the summer. Williams is going much earlier. But now, questions, right? We got a foot injury going on. We're not sure of that. And remember, Williams missed 7 games as a rookie. He missed 5 last year. And he also broke his hand in the NFL playoff game. So fortunately, if his season was over, but he probably would have missed time because of that as well. So that's a problem. And we have to think back to 2022. Kyren Williams looked very, very ordinary and limited work. The team needed him on the field. They needed to get him more work, but he didn't earn it. And so they really weren't utilizing him much. And then last year, we saw Cam Akers and Williams, even in week 1, they both were involved. And so Williams was a factor, but the team was willing to put both running backs on the field. And so now they draft Blake Corum. So what's happening here, right? Blake Corum's 3rd round pick. Williams is a 5th round pick. I believe Williams benefited greatly from Sean McVay's system last year. Sean McVay obviously made superstars out of Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, for 5 weeks to Marcus Robinson to a point. And I believe Williams fits in here as well. McVay figured out that the league was getting better at defending the run with light boxes. They were shooting gaps really well. They were making outside runs a little more problematic. They had good, diverse plans to beat that. Well, the Rams were running duo downhill. They were engaging before the defense could react. And so Kyren Williams comes in, and he has this amazing season, 1,144 scrimmage yards in 12 games, 12 touchdowns. It was insane. Well, how much was McVay and how much was Williams? Williams is a good back, but is he a 100-yard per game back? You know, in the system, yes, but in reality, probably not in the durability concerns. And then they draft Corum in the 3rd round. Well, Blake Corum projects to be a very good NFL back. Not a superstar, certainly. This class isn't really littered with superstars, but projects to be a good back. If they go into camp and Corum is a decidedly better player than Williams, which is a real possibility. Does McVay really say, all right, Corum, you get 5 touches a game and Kyren Williams get the rest? With the durability concerns? No. I think it's like week 1 last year with Akers and Williams. You're both involved. And at that point, either one could move ahead of the other. And when we talk about running backs and you're drafting them fairly early, you've got to have some certainty, some level. There's no certainty in fantasy football, some certainty of volume. And if Corum's a better player, I can't count on that being there. And the durability in 2 years is an issue. Maybe he turns it around this year. There's just too many factors here. Is the upside there? Yeah. If Williams gets the ball, we saw the production that could be there. And that's very tantalizing. But I think there's more risk than we're imagining here. And that's his ADP has fallen. I don't think it's fallen enough. I think there's no reason that you think Williams will get near the volume that a Joe Mixon's going to get. And I know Mixon's dealing with camp injury, but whatever. All right. So all that said, Williams has issues. If you like videos like this, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the Rotowire Fantasy Football channel on YouTube. Also, you can check out all of our fantasy football content and rankings by getting a free 2-day trial with no credit card needed. You head over to rotowire.com/Jim. You see all of our content. All right, I only did 2 players in this ADP battle because these are 2 running backs I consider, that we're looking at here. There aren't other running backs in that equation. So my verdict is not easy from what you heard. It is Derrick Henry, number 1. I know he's 30. I get it. I don't like that the Ravens lost some offensive linemen in the offseason, but I think overall he's in a great situation, going to be utilized well. And then Williams a second because the durability and the potential for Corum, it's just a little too much for me.